Did we finally make it? My God.
Hey, I was grooving to the 30-second countdown music.
Woo, what a
17
journey,
minutes in. I had to wait 17 minutes to get that 30-second clip of music.
It's been a long day, man. It has been a long day. Guys, thanks for hanging with us in the chat. Sorry for the technical difficulties. And then even to top it off, I was in the hot tub leading up to this, and I think I put too much shock or something in it because my eyes started to get kind of fuzzy. Like I was like almost like when you open your eyes underwater with the chlorine and it burns. Yeah, so it's been a day. It's been a long one. So thanks for hanging with us. Appreciate it. We're 17 minutes behind. Steve, how about you? Have you had a better day than me?
Oh, it's been a long 2 days. Oh man, I got crispy sunburnt. You can't tell by my face, but I'm crispy sunburnt because I got a new barbecue grill this morning. So I stayed outside and put it together with my shirt off because it was kind of warm here in Delaware. Felt good, but then I got super sunburned, and I just have been doing bouncing back and forth between family stuff and yard work all day. So the grill came, I put it together. My brother-in-law showed up. Then his wife showed up with their son. Then we had lunch. Then I had to go out and buy some more stuff for the yard, like a wheelbarrow and a leaf blower. Come back, clean the whole pool area patio. Then go get groceries and come back and use the barbecue grill and cook steaks and have dinner. And my daughter and her friend and fiance showed up too. I didn't even know we were having all these guests, but I did know my brother-in-law and stuff was coming. I didn't know my daughter was coming with.
I love that when you have guests that you weren't expecting. That's when I usually just kind of hide up on the third floor. That's how that usually works. Yeah, my wife is there to entertain. I wasn't expecting. I wasn't. I'm fairly introverted. I'm introverted. I do videos, but I'm not a big extroverted outwardly guy. So when there's people that just pop in, I'm like, hey, good to see you. All right, see you later. All right, let's say hello to a few people here. We got Orlando, a collector's dream. How's it going? Hodges. I don't recognize Hodges. Oh, Steve, did you pull in your group, your peeps?
No.
Are you still able to do that?
I don't have any.
No, that dual stream thing. Do you still have the option?
It says stream this to your audience. Yeah, it does say, but I'm scared to click it after the start of the show. If I click it, I don't know what's going to happen.
You just popped over 5,000 subs. You might want to. You're worried you might lose some.
No. If I hit this, I'm scared it's going to crash the.
No. Go ahead. It should
live stream.
Try it. Try it out. Let's try it.
Stream this to your audience. So does it just put it separately on my YouTube channel or something?
It's going to stream on both. Yeah, it's going to stream on mine and yours. Yep.
Okay. Let's see.
Throw it in there, brother. I think it only takes a second. I'll say hello to the people. Ha Fan Dan, you're always consistent. I appreciate you. Bargain Boxer. Where they at? Exactly. It's been a day, man. It has been a day. Deja vu, Joel. Yeah, this isn't the first time. Guys, my Commodore 64 is on its last legs, and I'm using the floppy disk AOL. So, I'm not upgrade 64. Quite yet. I'm not sure if I'm ready to upgrade. I'm not paying $100 for internet when I can easily dial up for $9.95 a month. Where is Michael Ham? Oh, did we lose Steve? All right, he's back.
Yeah. So what happened? I told you.
Did it work? Did you log into yours?
I guess. Yeah, I logged into mine.
Hold on. Let me look
on my channel. I don't know.
Let me go look on your channel and see. Sorry, guys. We're running through these tests with you guys.
Testies. 1, 2.
Hold on. Let me check. It's not the end of the world if not, but I just want to see if it works.
Okay, I see yours is live.
Yeah, I see yours. I don't think it's on. I don't think it's. Is it?
That's okay.
That's all right. Next time. That's okay. All right.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, it does give me a button still up here to say stream this to your audience. It's still there to click. Maybe I got to do it again after I logged in.
Try it one more time. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Oh, it says select destinations. Oh, title, description. Do I got to put a thumbnail or is it going to use your thumbnail?
I thought it would just. Is that what we're? I don't know. Maybe you're breaking it. Where is Michael Ham? Michael Ham is going to be staying with Steve, not in the same room, but in the same hotel at the National. Bargain Boxer, I think you said something about the National giveaway. Yeah, if we come over and fix a problem, do we win the National giveaway?
Well, you have to give it away because
I'm the one
the
with
problems.
the issue, right?
You're the one with the problem. You got a problem, man.
This is like the back end when Panini does like a drop or something for new product. Actually, not anymore though, right? Prism Basketball hit at $650 a hobby box, and it's crickets on there. Crickets. What in the Wild West? West Texas Wheels, what's going on? Bob, good to see you. You're not wrong, although no, there's nothing critical ending tonight for me anyway. There's some stuff up there there's stuff out there that I've got my eyes on, but no auctions that are ending tonight. Diversified Collectibles, what's going on? LT?
Did it? Okay, I don't know if it did anything.
Steve, if it's having you create like a whole new live stream, then I don't think that's what it's supposed to be. So,
it's all good now. Whatever it had me do, it's done. No going back.
Are you running a whole separate live stream? Hold on.
I don't know. Maybe.
Let's see what we've got here. I'll double check real quick.
Yeah, I am. I'm running a whole separate live stream.
Oh, no. I see us. No, we're good. It's working. Yes.
Yeah, but it's on my channel.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. That's so
Okay.
creepy. I can hear myself talking on my phone.
But I have my avatar as my thumbnail. I don't have like an off-centered thumbnail.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just a big old picture of my face. All right, let's go.
All right. We may have got it. We may not have, but we're moving on. All right. So LT, we said hello. Spokane Cole. I guess we'll see if there's audience that comes in from your channel that wouldn't normally be here. That's
what I'm wondering. Because say, for instance, someone comments on my. See, I'm seeing.
It should.
I'm seeing paper clipped comments. I think those are comments coming from my channel.
Okay. All right. I think it's working.
Do you see where like Hodges has like a paper clip?
Well, I'm back at the beginning of the comments.
Well, nothing's changed. Everything's just as normal. Everything's the same as.
Oh, I do see paper clips. Yeah. All right. So the paper clips are from you. Okay, cool.
Looks like it.
Yeah, that must be what it is. Okay. Awesome. Let's stay on this topic here real quick. We've got basketball playoffs coming up, right? We've got the last couple of games. Are we still, what's going on in basketball playoff world? Is it the last game of the season like coming up here soon, or does everybody wrap it? Have you been paying attention to it, Steve?
Nope, I haven't been paying attention. I've been just too busy. I haven't been able to pay attention. It hasn't held my interest. And I'm a Celtics fan, and I know they're doing well. Is that kind of bad?
Brian, so the Helix band, Brian, throw some updates in the chat so we can get caught up on basketball season. You guys didn't come here for first.
I know the Suns.
You didn't come here for sports knowledge.
I know the Suns were like undefeated with Kevin Durant. I don't know if they've lost with him yet, but they had won a bunch of games in a row. And I don't think the Mavericks got in. I was hearing about that.
I'm kind of of the opinion they just need to have like a 30-game season and just go straight to the playoffs so these guys can just play. Because I feel like everyone sits on injured reserve. Everyone sits on like takes it easy. And then the playoffs come and everyone shows up. What's an Orbi? I definitely need a new camera. I'm looking at a new camera and a mic. So the new camera has a pretty cool mic that I'm looking at. So upgrades are coming, Mike Petty. They're coming.
All right.
Billy Joe, what's going on? Baseball card curmudgeon, what's up? I think that I'm almost there. Oh, Troy, what's going on, Troy? How you doing?
What's up?
Father-son vintage cards. NH Rocker 2009. Is Brad at a modeling shoot? Probably. Hopefully. I hope he's making some money doing something. Doing some modeling or something out there. All I see on his Instagram is he's out partying all the time. So as far as like affording rent and partying, I don't know what he's doing to make money.
Well, like I said, while you were gone trying to figure out how to get the live stream started, I thought Brad was going to beat you back.
That's fair. I deserve that.
That's all right.
Behind the scenes of YouTube magic. Yeah. I don't know if it's very magical. We haven't figured it out yet, but these are all learning lessons and glad that we can learn them live with you all. Bustin' packs. Should we be concerned that Walmart and Target aisles are stocked with no signs of product moving? Are we back to 2018, Steve? Like, is this basically like a time warp?
Well, today I was in Walmart and I went by the card section and there was lots of product. Now, I don't want to say it's like junk product, but there's lots of product, even Panini. But I mean, Mosaic basketball blasters have been floating around, but it's still hard for me, at least, to find things like Prism. There's still select basketball box blasters from like last year, the Cade Cunningham draft and stuff. There's a couple of them. There's some Zenith football, which I didn't know Zenith. Did they just start making Zenith football again? There's some Zenith football there today.
Oh,
So I just there was quite a bit of product. Lots of Donruss basketball blasters.
I can remember a YouTube channel going back a couple years. This dude, literally his entire channel, and maybe he still has a channel, but his entire channel was updates on Target.com and like Walmart.com and using bots to buy product. And then also it was which local stores had product. So this guy, he was running this guy would have like 500 people on a live stream talking about Target.com and using bots to get product and stuff. It was incredible. That was like 2020 content. And I remember I was thinking like, God, that guy has so many people on a live stream, and all of his content revolved around Target, Walmart, blasters.
Can you see the comments that come in from my channel? Like, let's see.
I'm at 9:20. I'm about 5 minutes behind, but I can see like Rick Lyle. I'm pretty sure that Hodges 1455 and Rick Lyle came from yours.
Can you go to the bottom? You can scroll back up and just see if Andy and Mike's Card Museum's comments came in.
I see Andy and I see Mike's Card Museum. Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure
those are
they're popping up because
Mike's
they're clipped from my channel.
That's I
haven't seen Mike in a while, but it's cool to see him.
Yeah, that's a blast from the past, man. That was the original Teamwork Makes the Dream Work Facebook group.
Oh yeah,
Mike, you remember that?
Mm-hmm. Of course, He was one of the first members.
I was a member of that group before Steve even knew that I had the channel and stuff. He didn't realize that I had a YouTube channel in there. It's kind of funny.
Right. We have a question here from Dan Wilcom that says, "Do you clean your cards?"
Where are you at? What time?
9:26.
9:26. Dan Wilcom, where are you? There you are. Do you clean your cards? For me personally, Steve, you can answer this. I use Windex and no, I'm just kidding. I don't use anything except for just microfiber cloth. Honestly, I'm too paranoid that I'll use something and then it'll screw up the card. So I don't do anything fancy. But what do you think?
Microfiber on like chromium based cards, but if they're paper based cards, you got to hope that they have a nice gloss to them to microfiber them. If they're older cards,
I'll be honest,
not really all you can do with them.
If it's a card that's just going to go straight to grading, I don't really like messing with it at all. Like if I look through it, and it looks pretty good, I'm also paranoid just taking the thing out of the top loader or where, like it's like the more people touch it, the more it can get, the higher the chance it gets.
Well, yeah, but I like to make sure that there's no fingerprints or anything on there. I know that some of the grading companies now, I think SGC does, if they notice a fingerprint, they'll wipe the fingerprint clean. I don't know if PSA does that. PSA used to grade them with fingerprints on them. You used to be able to look through the case and see a fingerprint on it. Whether that came from the grader or from the person submitting it, I don't know, but they would strike you for fingerprints. So stuff like that, anything that's loose that just like wipes off, but I'm not for putting like chemicals or anything on the card. I have put water on a card before, not on the card, but on my cloth to get something off, but that's been about it.
Yes, we are going to the Nationals. PMN, we are going to the Nationals. I hear you loud and clear. Steve with the KD pump. Oh, I think I missed Steve Splend up here. Yes, Steve is making it very clear what cards to buy here. He is very clear with Kevin Durant. Okay, here we go. This is what I was looking for. Playing games going on for the 7th and 8th seeds in the playoffs. So it's all wrapping up. It's all happening. Is there a chance in hell that LeBron is going to win a title this year? Is it like he's been like laying low and then he's going to just spring out and do something amazing? Or is that just not because isn't AD? I think AD is actually healthy.
Yeah, I mean that for now, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, I just know I've heard the Lakers have been bad. Maybe they're playing better now, and it's just kind of like again, I'm just really out of the loop on basketball. Like I have no time to watch it. And because there's not any basketball players that I'm buying right now, I'm not waking up every morning and checking the box scores and seeing who's winning or losing. Like I'm just not, you know, the cards, to be quite honest, the cards is what makes me follow that sport.
Right.
Now, football, I'll watch no matter what. I don't have to be into cards. I don't have to be buying any players. I don't have to be holding anybody. I will watch football no matter what, and even some baseball to an extent, because I don't do baseball cards, and I have been paying. I don't do baseball cards that much, and but I have been watching the Orioles a little bit. But
Well, yeah.
basketball, and even like I said, even being a Celtics fan, I haven't been interested. Like I have limited time, and right now I have better things and things that I need to do with my time. Where like if it's a football game I really want to watch, I'll be like I got to make it a point to watch that football game. But I never sit down and be like I got to make it a point to watch that basketball game.
I've got 9 videos a day coming out on YouTube, so your day is it's packed.
It just doesn't feel important to me right now. I don't know.
Which is kind of crazy because aren't the Celtics the one? Like they're a top 3, aren't they? I think the Bucks are 1 and the Celts are 2 or 3.
Yeah, but I mean, when they lost the finals last year, I did watch that, but I was a little bit more tied to basketball last year. But yeah. So for me, it's like anything short of a finals for this, as a Celtics fan, is kind of a letdown at the moment. If they go and get bounced in the first or second round of the playoffs, it's like, well, they didn't even live up to what they did last year. So that could be the other thing with me too,
Yeah, I got you. They have to win a title for you to be interested, is basically what you're telling me.
Well, I mean, if Larry Bird came out of retirement and we got the Chief back out there smoking it up on the court, and
I want to see Robert Parrish and Kevin McHale again.
Yeah, the Chief, Robert Parrish, little because there was a time when I didn't watch basketball at all, and that was kind of during the Kevin Durant, Paul Pierce run. So
what's your thoughts here? Someone asking to return a card on eBay that has a print line, even though I specifically showed the print line in the photos and called it out. I feel like if you disclosed it, then you disclosed it. That's my thought on that. Mm-hmm. Actually, I had this happen with I bought a graded video game online, and when I received it, the case actually had a piece of it. There's a chip off the top of the case. And I was like, oh man, I'm going to send this back. I'm going to return it. I went back to his listing and I saw that right there in the description, it said there's a chip on the side of the case. So that was my bad. So I ended up not sending it back.
Okay. What do you think? I mean, I guess it depends on what are your consequences. So has it passed the eBay return policy? And are you facing negative feedback? How much is the card? How much are you going to be out? Is it worth taking a negative feedback if that's one of the things that can be thrown at you? Or are you protected by eBay as a seller now? I haven't sold on eBay all year. So as far as selling on eBay experiences, I just distanced myself from eBay. So I don't even know like all of what they have in place to protect the buyers and the sellers anymore. Because I know that they were making changes on the limit in which someone could return something. If somebody paid through PayPal, do they still get PayPal? Can they still get a return for you on PayPal? Because even though eBay changed their criteria, PayPal didn't. So you got to ask yourself, is it worth a negative feedback if that's a circumstance? And, or, buyer bought a card being noticed. I mean, I've sold a card with a print line on it before, fully disclosed, and the person bought it and they were happy with it. And that was a checkerboard optic card because they're notorious for print lines. But yeah, so I mean, ultimately, that's just going to boil down to the individual. Like, if you're facing negative feedback, is it worth it? Like, and is this a card that you think you can sell to somebody else, or were you lucky to be able to sell this because of the print line? So
yeah, no, I think those are fair points. Mike's got a question for you. He's coming hard with the music card stuff, the oddball Tom Petty rookie. What card is considered his rookie? Do you have any idea on that?
I think it's the 1977 Monty Gum. So that's Monty, Monty Gum. And they put out like a punk rock type set. And it has Tom Petty, and it also has all the individual members of the Heartbreakers in it, I believe. It also has what's considered Billy Idol's. Well, Billy Idol is in there with a band that he was in before he went solo, a punk rock group. So I'm not sure if it's also considered Billy Idol's rookie because he's not solo in that, I don't think. But anyway, that's
I'm not sure if MP is referring to someone else's comment or if I need to go triple check the.
Well, that came in from my live. That came in from my live stream. So maybe
you might want to check your front door and make sure it's locked.
I don't know. Maybe he thought maybe I was running from your live stream and he went over there. I don't know.
Okay.
But I think the one thing is that I don't think that
he's got a door behind him. So make sure to throw it in the chat real quick. If you see someone walking up behind Steve, let's make sure that we're shouting and letting him be aware of that. Okay, go ahead, Steve.
But I don't think that people in the comments can see the comments from my chat. So say for instance, Living with LT is watching on your channel. Yeah. So they can't interact with each other.
And that's why, Orlando, I'm trying to pull up both just so you guys can see what else is coming in. I didn't realize that was a thing. That's kind of interesting. Mike is back, took a break for a little bit, but he is back. Cleaning 90s cards sucks. I can't get the UV coating taste off my tongue.
Do they have gum in them though? Couldn't you just lick the ones that have the gum residue on them?
Or is he talking
about the taste?
Is he talking about the film? Getting the film off or whatever?
I don't know. Remember I chewed a piece of gum from like a 1977 pack of,
and then you went to
Return of the Jedi or something.
Yeah.
Well, I did it for my viewers, and then I challenged you to do it for your viewers, and you were like, "There's no way." He said, "My viewers aren't worth that much."
Well, yeah. Once you had a heart attack and had to put a stent put in, I decided, you know what? I'm just going to hold on that gum.
Yeah, right. It was pretty nasty. Like I held it together on camera, but then afterwards I kept getting this pinch in my throat to make me kept feeling like I was going to throw up.
Let's keep it clean, Mike. Let's keep. Oh, okay. You're just talking about to clean cards. Got it. All right. Sorry. I thought we were going off on a whole nother tangent there. Fair enough. Bob's talking about lotion. Put the lotion in the basket. Put the lotion in the basket. So yeah, going back to Dustin's channel. So I wonder if they're going kind of like back and forth to look at these comments. Hopefully. Oh yeah. It was on mine and then he just came up on yours. So, all right.
Yeah, that's all right.
There we go.
I only clicked the button because Dustin told me to. I didn't mean to cause a rift I didn't mean to cause a rift in the viewers.
Hey, we had over 100 people in the chat already. So thanks guys. Thank you. Something's happening. And probably 75 of those are from your channel, Steve. So appreciate that. Appreciate you logging in.
I don't know.
Lakers going down in the first round. Who are they playing? Oh, I guess they don't know yet. Okay. Lakers first.
Who's number one?
Well, I thought they were doing the play-ins tonight, tomorrow or something. Yeah.
If they do the play-ins, okay. I don't know.
I'm only 7 minutes behind in the chat. I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job. Guys, if you're thinking about buying new product too, let's shout out mvpsportbreak.com. 10% off with DAD4 promo code. I've got it in the little ticker down here. And then it's free shipping for $500. So if you're, I don't know, $600 hobby box or whatever, $60 off and free shipping. Just saying. They can compete with the big boys. So definitely check out mvpsportbreak.com if you're looking to buy new product. All right. Back to it. Oops. Did I break it? But those Zions are up. Is that what I'm? Is that what
are they? Are Zions up? I don't know. I don't own a Zion card.
Man, so what a nightmare. You know, like with the whole, isn't it so crazy? We had just the basketball boom during the pandemic, all the Luka, the Zion, the Ja, and just look at that. I mean, like Luka, what's going on there? Mavs are not in the playoffs. No future really for that team. I mean, they pretty much gave everything away to get Kyrie. Like, what's going to happen there? Trae Young, what's going on with him?
Yeah, Trae Young has been kind of like disappeared off the planet to me. I feel like
basketball needs saving. I feel like Victor, I can't say his last name, so I'm not going to try, but next year, Victor Wembanyama, he's got to come in and save the league. I mean, I don't like all these guys, unless Ja can kind of pick it back up, bring it back. But Zion, no, I don't think anyone's counting on Zion. sad part is I always thought like Zion's like the next Larry Johnson, but Larry Johnson actually had like a pretty good 10-year career where he was on the court quite a bit. I don't even know if Zion's going to be Larry Johnson.
Well, I told everybody Jason Tatum was going to be better than all of them. And then, and I remember, and like De'Aaron Fox has gotten good and gotten popular, and the Kings are like third in the West. I do know that much. And I remember a long time ago, and I've never been a Gary V advocate. I just haven't. That's just me. But I remember when he was talking about De'Aaron Fox. I mean, he talked about multiple players, but I remember when he talked about De'Aaron Fox and how young he was, and he looked like a talented player. And then De'Aaron Fox, he was like a hobby darling for a little bit, and he just kept dying off and dying off. And then this season, he's like back, and he's like, I don't know if he's matured as a player or if they've gotten better cast around him or a new coach. I don't know what the change has been, but he's been more efficient, I believe, is the big thing. He used to take a lot of shots.
You look at the reality is it takes 3, 4, 5 years for a lot of these guys to mature. It's not like it's not common for guys to be rookies second year and have the league figured out. So yeah, that is pretty interesting to see. Go ahead.
I think because guys like Trey and Luka started off so hot right out of the gate as rookies. And, even Zion, like his first game healthy, remember he hit those 3-pointers and all that. And then everybody jumped on, John Morant was really good his rookie year. So you did have some guys that were good their rookie year. But then you have guys that needed time to mature. Sometimes after 3 years, people start looking at you, especially from a card standpoint. You're like, oh, that guy's a bust. We're 3 years in and he hasn't blown up yet, and then comes year 4 or 5. And now they're like, okay, this is the player that they drafted. This is the player that they expected when they drafted. But in the NBA, it does tend to take or happens quicker than it does in other sports, especially sports like baseball. Football, you tend to be, if you're a stud running back or something like that, you can tend to come into the NFL and establish yourself pretty quickly. But
there's the NFL, if you're a QB, you've got no time. Like you've got to figure it out.
Right.
Quickly. You've got a couple years and that's about it. If you're a number one pick like a Baker Mayfield, you'll get more chances. But if you're not, number one overall pick and if you just don't make it happen, then that's it. Yeah, maybe they should add, have tackling or something. Drew is like, does anyone think it would be cool if basketball was played on different surfaces outside as opposed to only inside on hardwood? Maybe just to mix it up. I don't know. Honestly, I would just like guys to just play, just to play. I think that would be great. Forget about different services. Just have guys that, hey, oh, you're healthy, then you should play. It's gotten that whole clock, what is it? Load management has gotten so far out of sorts. It's so nuts.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you put a game outside on blacktop or on asphalt or like a tennis court type surface. I just don't know where the, could that cause injuries? Could there be more injuries on a surface like that as far as turned ankles and things like that? I would think that a wood floor would kind of tend to you would tend to slip on a wood floor before you would tend to like roll your ankle.
Yeah.
As opposed to an outdoor course where you're probably going to stick to it and you're probably going to roll your ankle or twist your knee as opposed to just slipping and busting your ass.
Are we coming in with an intro song like Sports Card Radio? Boo, boo, boo.
Well, do you guys get to hear the 30-second countdown or do they not see that?
No, it came through. Oh, yeah, that's right, because I had to restart it.
Yeah, because we had the 30-second countdown. I was jamming to it backstage. I had a nice little drum beat to it. Then it started kind of sounding.
Yeah, everybody
started sounding kind of a Stranger Thing. It started getting this little Stranger Thing vibe to it. So then I was like, okay, I was like, what's going on here? But anyway.
Yeah, maybe we can get an intro. Everyone's making an intro song for their so maybe we can get somebody to do that. Maybe we'll get the SDR guy to make us a song.
Let the comments. Is there anybody out there that would be interested in coming up with a song? Now, man, we might get ripped. Somebody could come up with a song for our own live stream that's like tearing us down. But
yeah, Dustin and Steve think they're all bad.
But I have a lot of faith and confidence in the people that view. So, I wouldn't be scared to put it out there to one of them.
The SCR song, like the lyrics or not, the beat is fantastic. It was funny because we had watched that. We watched the first one that they did. My wife watched it too. And then she texted me like 5 hours later from work and she's like, I've got that song in my head. that we watched on the live stream. I can't get it out of my head. The beat on that song is great. I love the beat on it. Carddeal.com. Good to see you.
I just saw a comment from Semnius at 9:35, but it's 9:47.
Yeah, we're not here. We're not there yet, Steve. We're not there. We are not quite there yet. I'll load up. I'll get through these. Did you check out the amazing vintage on the RAA auction yet? Man, some of that stuff is wicked.
Okay, so I went over there, and then I wanted to actually, I think, put in a bid on something, and then I had to open an account. And then to open an account, it was like, you need 2 things to verify you, like your eBay account. So I gave him my eBay account. Then it's like, how many eBay feedbacks do you have? So I'm going to try to find my eBay feedback, and I couldn't because I was an eBay store. And I'm like, man, I'm still paying my subscription as an eBay store. So I had to cancel my eBay store because I haven't even used eBay since January. So they cancel as a seller. And so I had canceled my eBay store. And then after I canceled the eBay store, then it showed me my feedback number. Like it would only show me my sales.
Weird.
Yeah, it would only show me my sales feedback, but it wouldn't show me my total.
We've got a Jason Tatum Celtics fan here loading up. So NH Rockers got 60 Tatum rookie cards.
And then, so after all that, I didn't make it back over there because I saw that the auctions were going to be running for a while.
Yeah, 20.
And I was just like, I was like, when I get a chance to actually sit back down and look at this, and I haven't had that chance yet because I was doing that yesterday morning.
Yeah.
So
they have really unique stuff. But yeah, no, it's pretty insane.
I was looking at some of the Jim Browns.
Yeah. Dennis
and Frank Robinson.
I didn't realize that Dennis Johnson passed away.
I thought he passed away a while back.
Okay, yeah, I missed that. I didn't realize that. Siem Diest. It's been 6 months. Thoughts on eBay authentication and Vault? I have not used any vaults outside of ComC. Obviously that's kind of like the original vault, but not the same as what you're talking about. I feel like, to be honest, too, most of my purchases are between $100 and $1,000, and I want to have those in hand. But I can understand. Look, if you're buying a $10,000 card that maybe you're looking to sell in 3 months or 6 months or something like that, I think that's the type of stuff that goes to the vault. I have to assume, because then it's insured, it's safe, it's in their vault. If you were already planning to sell it on eBay anyway, then I suppose that makes sense. But for me, I haven't used the eBay vault yet. eBay authentication, I did have one. So my only issue with eBay authentication that I've run into is titling being wrong. So the card is authentic, everything's great, but the titling is wrong. So for example, I had a card the card was actually 7 out of 10, and they had in the title 8 out of 10 or 3 out of 10. They put the wrong number out of 10, and it got kicked. They canceled it all out. I'm like, God, like I want the card. Like it's a rare card. I want the card, but then I don't know what happens there, if you can relist it or if it's so that part of authentication has been a little bit of I've had that happen a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
But how about for you, Steve?
Authentication has been fine recently. I mean, it's timely. You figure because it's going to be sent to, it's going to be sent there, then back, and this, that, and the other. I haven't used the vault. My first 2 experiences with authentication when they first kicked it off were a little kind of, I didn't like they had packaged something kind of poorly because, they fit the bands. And I think multiple people had that problem in the beginning, and that could be why they're not having that problem now, because they probably got feedback. If, they hear it, they may act like they're not listening, but they hear it. And then, I can't remember. Oh, the other one was I bought an autograph card with a certificate of authenticity, and the certificate of authenticity did not come through with my card.
That's weird.
So the seller mailed it, and then eBay then took it to authentication, and then they just packaged the card. They didn't package the certificate that was with it. So I had to reach out and get that sent to me.
Interesting. Okay. All right. They're going back and forth about the description. We do have a question for you about any non-sports stuff that's new. I know we talked about it just a couple of weeks ago. You're always looking at different non-sports stuff, but what is there anything that's caught your eye over the last couple of weeks that's different?
If I'm just okay, so to run it down right now, if you're curious to know, I'm not going to give any names or anything, but by Vintage Baseball, there's two NFL quarterbacks that I'm kind of gambling on. I like to say two NFL quarterbacks, and I'm wasting my money on. I just go ahead and say that I'm wasting my money on these because if it ends up being a waste of money, I'm not surprised. But if it ends up working, then it's a pleasant surprise, right? So
Yeah.
I'm wasting money on two NFL quarterbacks, and then I'm buying any music / movie stuff that I find that I think is cool for the right price. There has been some good stuff to hit eBay, but it's kind of pricey. I don't want to pay the types of price, but the same stuff that you've just been seeing me buy. If you watched me on Breakout Cards, you saw some of it. I didn't get to go through much of my collection on there, but you saw some of it. Both of these cards, these came in the mail today, and this goes to show you how much time I've had. I haven't even had time to open my mail today. And these are both music cards, but that's about it. Trying to get music cards as close to the people's first card, but if there's anything different as far as like if you're asking about like Marvel or wrestling or just something oddball, there's not really anything right now that I'm looking at. I will say this, and people are going to chastise me probably for it because this has been a polarizing topic. I did eBay search for ending sales last night on Marvel PMGs.
Oh, okay.
Because I just want to see what they're selling at now. I know the market is down across the board, and then I know not. So you have the double. Some stuff has taken multiple hits. They've taken the hit because people have less disposable income. The entire sports card and collector market is suffering from that. And then sometimes on top of that, cards take a hit for reasons, additional reasons, whether it's poor play or an injury or something happens to a player in the media that's negative, or PMGs and like Marvel cards fall out of favor with the collectors. They lose a demographic of buyer because there were sports cards buyers buying Marvel cards. There was always Marvel card buyers buying Marvel cards.
Right.
But when you added the sports cards people in on top of it, now all of a sudden you didn't have the supply to meet the demand and prices went up. And then the sports cards people got bored with it. It was fun. It was new. It was refreshing. There was movies coming out. We were tired of hearing about Luka and Trey and stuff, the players we were just talking about now, who we tend to not even have any interest in, at least myself, right? Funny how that sounds. Funny how that works. Because something was fresh. And it was fresh for like a 6-month time period, and people got bored with it. And it took the double hit. It took the big run up, and then it took the double hit at the same time. So now I'm just looking at those prices, because if they reach an area to where I feel like they're really cheap, I'll start buying them again. Because when I bought them the first time, I was buying them when they were dirt cheap because I liked them and I thought that they were cool. And then when they got driven up in the market, I was selling them because it didn't make sense to keep them.
Yeah.
And if they get back to a point to where I would like to have them, then I'll start buying them, and I'll buy them for the same reason. I'll buy them because I want them. When I bought Marvel PMGs in the past, it wasn't because I thought they were going to go up in value. I'm buying music cards now. It's not because I think they're going to go up in value. It's because I like them, and they were affordable. They were cheap enough to collect. That's a tough thing to find right now. It's tough to find something that's cheap enough to collect in a market to where everything is still expensive. Everything's down, but it's still expensive.
It is funny how that works, because all the stuff that is actually collectible and valuable, for the most part, it's stuff that people didn't realize it was going to be collectible and valuable. That's
Right.
the whole point. So everyone, you're collecting things that you enjoy with the hope or assumption, depending on if you're speculating or not on whatever that is, that that it has the potential to rise in value. But it's funny. There is no rhyme or reason to a lot of it. So it's It's interesting. This one will strike with you a little bit, Steve. And I actually, Steve and I have gotten some Dale Earnhardt Senior stuff, just because he doesn't have a lot of autographs. So this is kind of again to that point where, you know, if you're collecting baseball Hall of Famers, and I'm just using this as an example, a lot of these guys sign all the time. You know, they go to different card shows. There's plentiful amount, or even Richard Petty. If we're just going NASCAR, Richard Petty has signed an absolute ton of stuff, and he's really kind of a GOAT aside with Dale Earnhardt and Jimmy Johnson in NASCAR. But Dale Earnhardt has way less autographs than Richard Petty, you know. So it's I mean, it's an interesting one. He's got kind of that legend attached to him.
Yeah, and when it comes to pack pulled autos, he only has one product that's even considered what would be a higher end product or whatever. If you want pack pulled autos, you're buying classic and you're buying press pass and things like that, which there's nothing wrong with those cards. But in today's market, those cards they wouldn't exist. People wouldn't buy them if they came out in packs today. So that's really like your only option. And that's that's like honestly the only cards in those sets that even hold any type of value. And that's the reason is because that's one of your only options is to get a Dale Earnhardt auto out of that stuff. Other than that, those cards are like junk wax. But his 2001 Upper Deck.
Yeah, the
Sign of the Times. The Sign of the Times, which I have that card. There is one on eBay right now in raw form. Are you frozen? I think Dustin's frozen. Or is it me? One of us. Anyway, what I think to be Dale Earnhardt's best, at least autograph card. Are you back?
Yeah, I can hear you.
But what I think to be his best card, his best card would be that Upper Deck Sign of the Times, which there's one on eBay right now, raw, but they want like 2K or OBO for it. And you know, he has the cool rookie cards from 1988 Max and things like that, but a lot of those were printed as well. So those are really only valuable in like a high grade, just like any other kind of junk wax. Like it's got to be a PSA 10, or it's not necessarily got any kind of monetary value to it. Not saying they're not valuable in some way.
Tom Petty cards free falling. Come on, Bob.
They're free falling.
On. Stay away from my Petty cards. We got all the dad jokes in the chat. Jordan Hudson, what's going on, man? What is going on? Let's see. My buddy was in the Heartbreakers for 30 years. He was Tom's best man twice. Oh, that's cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
My Bird Red PMG has a print line that wasn't disclosed, but they don't come up often. Yeah, that's a tricky thing, too, if it's a really rare card that you just never see. Yeah. Billy Idol or George Michael? Do you have any thoughts? I don't know if I have a quick reaction.
I like whose songs do I like better?
Yeah.
They're completely different, right?
Yeah.
They're completely different. So it's like with me, people can say, okay, I can rattle off like my 3 to 5 favorite bands that I can go to in any situation. But then there's lots of other music that I listen to that's just, it depends on the mood. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I put on yacht rock, right? And I hear all kinds of like 70s soft rock and easy listening. And then sometimes I put on, Van Halen's greatest hits, or sometimes I put on, Dr. Dre, the Chronic album. It's just all kind of like a mood. So who would I throw on the radio more often? Billy Idol. But that doesn't mean if George Michael just comes on the radio while I'm driving or something, that I'm going to change it.
Right. Yeah, fair enough. They're both good.
If you were to look at a playlist of mine, which I don't really have any playlists now, but would be like Billy Idol would have been on some of my playlists, but different songs than the ones that you hear on the radio all the time. There's a song I think called Make Me Scream. That's a good one. But everybody hears Rebel Yell and White Wedding and Eyes Without a Face and Dancing with Myself and things like that. The popular ones.
All right. I'm 20 minutes behind, so we're going to keep this moving along. Roy has only sold on comps. I do agree with you as far as it's an instant transaction. That's kind of nice, regardless of the platform, just not having to deal with returns and all that. It's like when it's done, and that's it. Miami Mike coming over from your channel. Hope all is well, Steve. We could all just toggle between the two. Oh, wait, now Steve is wearing a Top Gun hat.
Yeah.
Dustin, you get any D-Car rookie cards now being a Saints guy? Well, I've been a Saints guy for a long time.
I think
Derek,
was okay.
Oh, did I lose you, or did you go to an alternate universe?
I'm back now, I think.
Oh, okay. So I bought a bunch of Derek Carr on ComC actually before I knew he was going to be a Saint, but I just knew he was going to go somewhere else. So I kind of bought a bunch of his Prism rookie cards just as a flip card, and thinking he'll go to another team and there'll be some excitement around that. And I was just going to sell them off. I haven't sold any of them yet though, so we'll see. We will see. I'm not necessarily. I like Derek Carr, but it's not like the same excitement as when they got Breeze in 2006. Let's just put it that way. Tom Bullard, good to see you. Good to see you.
Tom. I always see that avatar of Tom. Is that you in that avatar with that guitar? I always wondered if that was him or if it was an avatar of like a musician that he likes or something.
Chicago. Well, that game's over now. We're 23 minutes behind. So what did y'all think on Jeff Wilson's thought solutions on BGS grading scale? I think that a lot of people just have a similar viewpoint on it, to be honest. Like, I think that my thing was now some people might disagree, but I was saying and I can't remember what Jeff said. I think they should throw out the 9.5, just have a 9.10, still have the subgrades like they do. But for BGS specifically, just move out of the 9.5 because they want to put out more 10s, obviously, if they're going to have 3 or 4 different versions of 10. So just focus on that. It's either a 9 or it's the versions of 10 that you want. That's kind of my take. I know, Jeff was very optimistic about it being like, this could be a great opportunity for Beckett. He went way optimistic about like, this could be, the best opportunity in the history of the company. He kind of went like, huge with what he said. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that the way that they went about it, now it's kind of more of like, it's more of a redemption. Like they need to redeem themselves a little bit is kind of where I'm at with Beckett, but that's just my take. You just did a card with Beckett, Steve. You just graded with Beckett. Yeah. So you have more recent experience here.
Yeah. And I thought that they made a mistake and I did, and I got all angry and stuff. Yeah, but you were going to have to, I didn't watch Jeff Wilson's video, so I don't even know what he said about him.
Yeah, it was just optimism, about just turning it around. And he didn't say any, it's kind of a similar story that a lot of people have. But I think that, some people are just, there's more outrage, whereas he was basically like, hey, it was good that they pulled it back. And now, they can come up with something good. My thing is he said that they need to do something in the next 20 to 30 days. And I think that, 20 days or fewer from that show, I think they need to have something in place very soon and just get it done and move on from it. Just kind of solve it and get on with it because they're obviously going to make the change. All right. Average Joe card collector, you are being so nasty. I should boot you, but I'll keep you in. We'll keep you in for a little bit.
What else did he say?
He called me the sellout dad. Man,
what?
Victor W is about to bust hard. Dude's going to get bullied. Yeah. Is he? So when I see him, he's awesome, but is it kind of like Porzingis, where he's tall? Well, actually, Splenda, you being a KD guy, is he KD or is he Porzingis? When you look at just his style of play, I haven't watched tons of film on him, so it's not as if I'm some expert on his game, but I'm sure there's probably people on both sides making arguments on that. All right.
So I'm reading way ahead in the comments just to make sure, and you can keep lagging behind. I'm gonna just
pop out.
Just see if there's one that we might want. Let's see. I'll call one out if I see one.
Yeah, call it out. I'm just back here with the "you're a sellout" comments. And the mutter buggers, sick of NBA. Just a lot of people that are just tired of the NBA. All right, let's see. Trader Griff standing in the rain at soccer practice watching. That's the type of commitment Average card collector Joe, do what Trader Griff's does. Listen to him, please.
So here's one that says by JK, you're coming right up on it. Wall Street, shill bidding, and that sloppy PSA 10 have ruined the hobby. Might be fair for two of the things. Shill bidding, I think, gets called out too much, to be honest. I've been in the hobby for a long time, and shill bidding existed in the 90s. When I was using eBay in the 90s, shill bidding existed then. And it existed now. So it's not new. Like it never surprises me. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Sometimes I will be trying to bid on an auction and it will get shilled. I'll see somebody shilling an auction that I'm trying to win. And yeah, it's a bummer, but at this point, if you've been doing this long, how can you let it like make you mad anymore? You just got to almost expect it. If you expect something, then it just shouldn't anger you anymore. Like it's just something that exists. It sucks. I mean, use other platforms or whatever. I mean, there's more platforms out now and more ways to buy and sell cards than there was in the 90s. So it should have even have been a worse epidemic back then. I got a train out of nowhere.
Oh, Steve throwing curveballs at us. All right, so I'll throw in my 2 cents while Steve's getting blasted by the train. Yeah, I do agree. It's kind of like getting upset living in Florida that there's another hurricane coming. It's hurricane season. Like show bidding is another hurricane in Florida. Like it's just something that's always been there. It's always probably going to be there in some shape or form. So it's just understanding and knowing what you're up against and being careful with it. I mean that's really kind of what it boils down to. Steve, did you want to add anything to that? Or do you want to keep going? Oh, we're still training. Okay.
Well, a little bit, but real quick on the shill bidding.
Yes.
The one thing that I don't like about it is if someone is just trying to manipulate the market on a specific card. Okay, a specific card. But if anyone thinks that shill bidding only exists in sports cards, then that's foolish. I used to buy and sell paintball gear. Believe it or not, there was one time I was in shape and I used to play speedball, paintball, like on the airbags, right? And I used to buy and sell paintball gear. I used to buy and sell paintball gear all the time. I had an eBay store for it. And it's like stuff was shilled then. That's not sports cards. That's paintball gear. That's paintballs. That's guns. That's triggers. That's accessories. That's clothing. That's everything.
I've overpaid for dog food many a time.
That's shilled. So it's like, you could go to buy a car on eBay Motors and get shilled.
If somebody knows, B-side, I don't know how to how do we get in touch with B-side? I'll reach out to him and see if he can. I don't know how much he charges for the intro, but we will absolutely play an intro. Maybe he can make something goofy for us to put on for our show. The guy puts together bangers. So I don't know if SCR paid him to do it or if he just did it out of the goodness of his heart, but yes. How do we get in touch with B-side? If anyone knows that and can send it to me directly, I'm on Instagram or I'm on Twitter or whatever. If you could send me his stuff, I would appreciate it.
I think you're fading. Either you are or I am. But anyway, I mean, with the song, the Ruin the Hobby I Love song, this SCR song, for me, it's just kind of like, it was really cool. Like the first few times that I heard it. Now I feel like I've heard it so much that it's not even
it's losing its
luster
a little bit for
anything anymore. It was good when it was fresh.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
It just got unfresh really quickly.
Fair enough, Steve. Fair enough. Joker is the play.
Fair enough.
Is Denver actually going to are they going to make it happen? I guess that's the big thing. They're the 1 seed. Are they going to make it all happen in the West? Bush Leaguers has eBay is the biggest blop for being a multi-billion-dollar company. That's fair enough. I mean, it is a $30 or $40 billion company. I mean, so yeah, I get it. It is kind of interesting when you think about some of these very large companies that are very well funded, where there's actually smaller companies that are not as well funded that are more efficient, in certain ways. I'm not saying they're better than eBay, but it's just there's certain areas where smaller companies are more efficient than the huge conglomerate.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, with eBay, why haven't they policed the shill bidding that much? They probably benefit off of it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I have to assume that somebody's looked at it. Like, I have to assume that somebody went in and a team tried to figure it, like looked into it. I have to believe that, but I don't know. But again, maybe it's just something that's just they can't solve it. I have no idea. But you're right, Steve. I don't know. All right, the Bulls won. Busting packs. I'm trying to get caught up here, guys. Insurance means nothing in a vault, just like FDIC. There's no timetable to pay back. Actually, an interesting point, JK, that you bring up. It's kind of like what happens to the vault if it goes out of business, or what happens if the vault gets robbed, or what, like we haven't really had an instance where people have had to recover something from the eBay vault or whatever alt vault or something where there's been a big problem like that. Well, I guess we'll find out. Thoughts on the PSA Modern Special going on? I've got some J-Rod to send in. I've got Stranger Things that I could send. I've got some things, but it's only a sports card special from 2022 to 2023 is what I saw. I just don't have new product stuff, that I would, but I can see where people would send stuff in. I don't have anything in that space. What about you, Steve? Any brand new product you're sending in for?
No, I don't have any new product, and I haven't been getting much because I'm behind. Like I have like a 3-row box of stuff that needs to go to grading. Not just a PSA though, multiple grading companies. I want to, it's divided, but I don't have any new modern. I haven't been buying any packs, and I'm not really buying singles. I don't like buying singles to grade, especially online. If there's something that needs to be graded to have any kind of secondary market value, then you don't necessarily want to buy that online anyway, because more than likely somebody's selling it because they can't grade it themselves or don't think it's worth grading.
Have either of you ever been scammed in the hobby or victim to shill bidding? Honestly, I would bet that just given the amount of cards I've bought and Steve's bought, and probably many of you have bought, we've probably all been a victim of shill bidding in some shape or even if it's 1% of transactions, I'm sure that it's happened. It's if we're talking about years of buying cards and stuff, I wouldn't be surprised. I can't think of there's not anything major scammy that I've been involved in, at least that I can think of off the top of my head. How about for you, Steve? I almost scammed Steve when I almost left one of his cases at the National at the food court. That's where I almost wasn't really a scam, but I almost lost a friend out of that. There was a lot of money in that case, but we got it back, so all good. I left it sitting there next to the cash register. It was still there, thank God.
So as a buyer, I lose auctions all the time to people shilling them because I guess the price that I'm willing to pay isn't reaching the price that they want to take. There's so many auctions that I lose on a daily basis. I mean, I could put a video out every day. Honestly, I was sitting in my car today driving, and I was like, I could do a video 7 days a week of me losing an auction to a shill. But now, not only am I getting shilled, and that's bugging the shit out of me, right? But now I'm taking my time and putting it in a video and editing it and taking time out of my day when I can be doing things. So now not only has that shill cost me the card, it's also costing me time in my personal life. So I just let it go. But it's like it happens multiple times. It just happened. When I was talking in my car in a video when I was trying to buy a Jim Brown rookie. And that's vintage. And people think that this stuff's only happening on modern cards, but it wasn't. 2 Jim Brown rookie cards were shilled that I was bidding on. And then they were relisted and up for sale again. And one of them was up for sale for the 3rd time because it had sold a week ago to the same shill who had shilled it up this time. So they're not getting the price that they want for it. And they just keep relisting it, hoping that they finally get the price that they want for it. It's happened. Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Dr. J, Immaculate Triple Auto I wanted. Put a $3,500 bid in on that card, got shilled. I tend to not put in my max bid anymore on eBay. I tend to just throw a bid in there at the end and hope that I win, because I don't want to be like, okay, I'm willing to pay $1,500 for this card, and then look and see that the card would have went for $1,000, but I had a guy come in and bid 5 or 6 times that has 2 feedback until he ran it up to $1,400.
Right.
Right. really, the last legit bidder that bid on that was at 1,000, and now I'm paying $400 more because somebody shielded up $400 more. But they got out before my max price, right? So so it happens all the time. And as a seller, I had the hardest time selling a Cristiano Ronaldo PSA 9 World Cup sticker because the person that kept winning it was shilling it. And then I was looking at all the other auctions on eBay and they were shilling all them too. So I'm like, well, this person's just trying to keep this price up. They must own a lot of them. I had to, when that card was finally about to sell, there was like 3 minutes left. I saw it had a legit bid. And then it was winding down and I saw that shill bid come in. I'm like, wow, I was happy with that legit bid. I don't want this shill bid because this person isn't going to pay. I don't mind taking $25 less from that legit buyer. So I had to go in, cancel their bid, and then block that eBayer. And then that auction sold to that person, and that person paid me for it. But after 3 attempts of trying to sell that, I had to do that.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. This is a good, very true comment. Marvel fatigue, both cards and movies. So true. I think Kevin Feige said they're going to scale back their shows. I think they just put out too many shows on Disney Plus. I kind of worry a little bit about that with Star Wars as well. Yep. I did see, like The Mandalorian, awesome, but they've got a whole lineup. I saw there's another, and it looks cool. There's like a Beginnings of the Sith type show. I think that's coming out. And but again, you kind of worry that you just keep on hammering this home. I saw there's another trilogy they're talking about for like a regular movie trilogy, which frankly, I think they should just redo the 3 that they just did. I mean, what was it? That second one was an absolute nightmare. The God, what was the second one called? What a disaster that was. Anyway, the middle movie in the trilogy was the worst.
Which trilogy again?
The most recent trilogy that they did to finalize out kind of that Skywalker saga.
Oh, yeah.
Second movie was
there was The Force Awakens. Disaster. The Rise of Skywalker was the last one, right?
Yeah, Force Awakens was okay. Second one was absolute dog crap, and then the third one was fine. But I mean, the second one, good God, unbelievable. Just redo the second one. Actually, keep the first and the third. Did I freeze up? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I kind of hear you. You said, well, I think we're both.
I'm back.
I think we're both having issues.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I'm back.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Maybe it's StreamYard because we both had issues at the same time.
Yeah, it's definitely not us, Steve. It's the stupid StreamYard.
Well, for us to both have issues at the same time is weird.
It is kind of weird, yes. Yes, Mark, reach out to me on Instagram, please, at SportsCardDad. I'd like to see it. I don't own any downtowns, but I'd like to look at it. I think that'd be pretty cool. Henry needs a coat. Charles with the wisdom. Everyone needs to buy high, sell low. I'll do the opposite. Oh, geez. Come on, Charles. You can do better than that, man. You can do better than that. All right. I'm trying to get through. I'm at 9:57. I'm only 23 minutes behind. I only buy race-worn mustache cards of Dale Earnhardt. That's fair enough. Swayze's coming in with the MMA stuff. You can collect babes. We don't obsess over young QBs or home runs. I notice the wrestling cards are kind of the same. When I see these like wrestling cards being shown, yeah, you've got the Hulk Hogan stuff, but then you've also got most of these, guys are sharing the, the female wrestlers. I don't blame you. Hey, I get it, but I thought that was kind of interesting. All right. 88 max ticking up a bit. It was printed quite a bit, though, if I remember right. If we're talking about the NASCAR 88 max,
the Earnhardt was kind of funny because the Earnhardt was released as a promo card in I believe the Charlotte race sets. So there was multiple different max cards distributed. There was Charlotte, there was the normal, and then there was another track. There was 2 tracks, Daytona maybe. But anyway, the Charlotte one, the Earnhardt was a promo. And then they did a buyback with it where they bought some of them back and then they stamped them out of like $9.99. So, they weren't easy to get out of the packs like a lot of the other 1988 Max, and which is funny because I bought these packs. I live near Dover Down Speedway, and I talked in our last, was it our live stream? where you could only buy those at the souvenir stands at the track when a race was there.
That must have been Ryan's on Breakout.
Oh, it could have been Ryan. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I live near Dover Downs, and then I would go to all the races as a kid, and they have all the souvenir stands. So you go buy T-shirt, hat. Well, they also had the Max racing cards. I'd never seen those, the 88 set, which was the inaugural set, in stores. Now 89, then you could start buying the sets everywhere. But the first set you could only get like at the track.
Interesting. I did not know that. Are we talking about Breeze here, Joel? 2014 Topps Chrome BGS True Gem Black Refractor. Instagram, man. I would love to see it at Sports Card Dad, please. I'm always up to look at Breeze or Brady. I collect a lot. If you have Tom Brady Black Refractors, let's talk. Let's talk about them. All right. If you don't want returns on eBay, stop trying to hide damage with penny sleeves and top loaders. Fair enough. 20 minutes. No, man. Actually, we just kind of get into the like there's good questions in here. There's good comments. So we just get into it and just get talking. And here we are. I
know I'm reading comments at 10:02 and I'm like,
I know I'm trying to go. Like, so I'm moving past eBay because I feel like we've covered eBay.
Is there more comments tonight than usual? Or are you just slower than normal?
I don't know what's going. I know. I think there's more. More.
We were already 17 minutes behind when we started. So maybe there were 17 minutes worth of comments right off the beginning.
Zion said he's physically able to play, but not ready to play. Yeah, I don't have any faith in Zion at all. I can't do it. Oh, here's a question. Carver's Cards, what's going on? What are you more optimistic on, Saints, Stranger Things, or Luka? That's kind of a tricky one because I'm the eternal optimist when it comes to the New Orleans Saints. Every single year, I mean, it could be that we have Jameis Winston at quarterback. It could be that we have Tom Brady at quarterback. Either way, I'm going to find reasons why I think the Saints are going to have a good season. So that's just kind of part of my makeup. So I would say I'm most optimistic on the New Orleans Saints. Stranger Things, it makes me a little bit nervous because season 5, I'm the type that I get so excited. I'm so excited about season 5. That's the final season. They've already announced some spinoff things, so it's not really truly ending season 5. But my problem, it's kind of like watching the remake of Dumb and Dumber, where they brought back Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels. My expectations are like level 150. So, typically
you guys should have named the show. When it was you and Brad here, that's when it was you and Brad here.
It's high expectations. So Stranger Things, I'm worried that it's going to get screwed up. Like season 5 is going to be like a total, kind of like, what was it? Game of Thrones. That last season of Game of Thrones. It was okay, but you're not, you're kind of like let down a little bit.
Because they're saying season 5 is it. Just like with Game of Thrones, they were like, this has to be the last season. And they had so many loose ends to tie up that they had to rush it.
Bob's always got the hot takes. Nothing will ruin my hobbies, not even my evil wife. Global, what's going on, man? Hope all is well down under. Good day. I don't recognize Penny Pfizer. I don't recognize. Slow NBA season. A lot of people are already wanting next season for Victor. And I think, too, it's kind of like what we talked about. You've got LeBron that's in kind of the twilight end of his career. Steph Curry kind of getting there as well. But then, like the newer guys that we've all been excited about over the last few years, they've kind of faded. I mean, who's outside of Jason Tatum? It's the big guys we just talked about, Luka, Trey, Ja, Zion. These are the guys that, how many sales of their cards have happened over the last few years leading up to this season? Think of all the excitement around those 4 guys, and none of them are relevant in the playoffs. That's crazy.
See,
I remember John Morant is the next face of the league. Zion is going to be the next LeBron. All that stuff.
It's like Luka. I always said was the equivalent of Josh Allen. He was the NBA's Josh Allen. So you take a look at this. They both rookie cards are 2018 Prism, right? They both kind of, I would say, overachieved in the beginning. Now they're both underachieving, right? Their teams aren't going to win anything anytime soon. They're going to be slightly competitive. And their teams are going to fall apart around them before they get into a championship.
Damn, I'm all the way back up the train. Getting blasted.
I see a lot in the same too. Maybe Lucas should try football and Josh Allen should try basketball. I'm just kidding.
There you go. I think Josh Allen would be pretty decent. He's a big dude. He could only just like run through people.
Come on, man. George Murison was a big man too. Was a big dude too. Yeah, if you remember him.
Killing even happens in real estate. There you go.
Yeah, it just is. I mean, it makes for a topic to talk about, but I don't know. When I'm living it, I don't want to hear about it.
John, what's going on? Steve is just making noise for fun in the background. Sorry about that. I set up a small show this last weekend and had more sales than ever. Hobby still has plenty of interest, just at more reasonable prices. Absolutely. Steve, are you there? Because you look a little frozy. Or am I frozy? Are you there? All right. It's definitely you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you went you froze for
now.
Now you're good.
I can hear you.
Now you're good. Yeah. You're good. You're good. All right. So Sean is letting us know that he is killing it at his local show. So there you go. My wife asked me why I sing Jeff Wilson's name in the shower. Just coming with heaters all night long, Bob. Oh, that would be a twist. Get Jeff to make a song for you guys. You take the card and put it in the sleeve. That is going to be our intro. I'll see if I can use that. Maybe we'll just use Jeff's. You take the card and you put it in the sleeve. Maybe we'll just have that be our intro. I'll pull that.
Man, I didn't even watch that. I just saw a little clip on somebody else's video.
Actually, the best part of that skit is that everybody was like, oh my God, this is so dumb. We're putting the card in the sleeve. And then there's like one guy in the back that's just like going off. Go watch. If you haven't seen that, Steve, go watch his April 1st video, the April Fool's one. That's worth watching for sure.
Oh, maybe.
Denver pumped the brake 2 weeks ago. They focused on health before the playoffs and everyone's sleeping on them. Yeah, that's what's going to be kind of interesting. And that's why it's like, can we just skip to the playoffs? Because all these teams are not showing their cards yet. They're waiting until you get to the real stuff. All right. I'm still trying to skip through here.
Somebody says Propstein does not shill bid.
Wait. Oh, I skipped past. I think I saw that when I skipped it. Steve's trying to show off his fitness. I ran 4 miles today and didn't throw up as hard as I did hearing Zion say he's so competitive he chose not to play tonight. Yeah, I don't know if Zion is that competitive. Agreed.
What happened with Zion anyway?
I don't know. Well, and didn't he get paid like $1 quadrillion in the offseason? Didn't they extend him? It's going to be Bob, it's going to take a lot for you to become the number one Stranger Things collector. I'm pretty serious about it. Shill bid on Golden. I don't believe you, Charles. I feel like you're just throwing stuff out for no good reason. Shilled on a Probstein eBay auction for a KD. Good thing I just wanted the card in my PC. YouTube shill shorts. That would be interesting. I think those would probably get a lot of views if you were shilling and throwing that in a YouTube short. Yeah, I think it's pretty common, Rick, especially during the pandemic. I think there was quite a bit of it.
Do you see Ziggy's comment at 10:15?
10:15
from my channel.
He has 400 comments, so I can't. All right. Since we agree one?
Yeah.
Okay. Since we agree, shill bidding has always been here. Why didn't more people talk about it in 2020? Why did everyone pay the last eBay pay? Did anyone warn us of shill bids? Do you want to answer it first?
Sure.
Go ahead.
I don't talk about it now. So, I mean, you're going to have to ask the people who talk about it now why they weren't talking about it in 2020. I didn't talk about it in 2020. And I don't talk about it now because I'm aware of it, you know?
Well, and it's one of those things.
It's just a thing that's always existed, you know? How do I know?
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, everyone's got to kind of figure things out for themselves too. I'm sure I've been shilled. I'm sure you've been shilled. I'm sure Ziggy, you've been shilled. Right. I mean, it's like, did anyone warn us of shills? I mean, do you get warned of hurricanes in Florida? You know, I mean, it's just stuff that you just kind of live through it.
I mean, I guess it would depend on in what circumstance you're talking about shilling in. Are you talking about someone trying to manipulate the market on a card by shill bidding it? or so a card doesn't fall below a certain price? Or are you just talking about you're bidding on something and you notice that you're getting shilled bidding on something?
I've been making the risks
Or
of
selling
I've
even.
been doing the risks of this stuff since 2020, if that's what you're talking about. I mean, those videos are there. So yeah, that I feel like that's, I mean, it's been done. It's been talked about quite a bit. So I hear that all the time. How come nobody was talking about this a year ago or 2 years ago? I was, I was talking about it. All right. It's funny.
I wasn't. I mean, I'm just going to put it out there and say I wasn't talking about it, but I don't talk about it now. You don't ever really see me
Well,
put out videos on shill bidding.
I put out almost 1,200 videos in 3 years. So, I mean, like, I talk about a whole variety of things. It's in there somewhere probably. How many times did I talk about it? I don't know. Did I talk about it 3 times? Did I talk about it 37 times? I mean, I've been making daily content for over 3 years. So
I talk about things that I do.
yeah.
My content is basically based around my hobby experience. My hobby experience. It could be different than everybody else's. It's supposed to be. So if I'm buying a card and I'm doing a mail day and I got shilled on a card, then I might say, hey, yeah, I got shilled on this card. I might bring it up because it's happening to me in that moment. Or when I tried to sell that, I talked about the Cristiano Ronaldo sticker in a live drive once because I was so frustrated about somebody kept shilling it and then I wasn't able to sell it. But that was happening to me in that moment. I was just telling you about my hobby experience and what was going on. But I wasn't going out and saying, hey, guys, shill bidding happens, this, that, and the other.
But the other thing
I mean,
too is it's not always easy to tell also if it's a true shill. You can think, if there's zero feedback or something, you've got a pretty good idea. But there's also stuff that happens where it's like 24 feedback. It still is a shill, but you don't, it's not like it doesn't necessarily have to just be a zero feedback. So it's very difficult to prove, I think, unless you're tracking IP addresses and all that stuff, which, I mean, as buyers, we can't really do that. I mean, unless someone else can, I can't.
I just feel like it's a given. And this is the last that I'm really going to talk about it tonight because you're probably tired of talking about it. But I just think that it's a given. That's why it doesn't necessarily bother me as much as it does others. And I've experienced in multiple aspects of eBay, not just sports cards. I touched on that earlier. If you guys were here when you heard that, but to me, it's just a given. It's like the sky is blue. I don't need anybody to tell me that. I walk out and I see that the sky is blue in the morning. Well, some days it might be cloudy and gray, but you get what I'm saying. When I'm on eBay, I know that shill bidding exists. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, what's going on? Why is someone buying with zero feedback? That doesn't make any sense. Yes, it's shill bidding. The sky is blue when I wake up in the morning.
I think that's
if there wasn't any shill bidding at this point, it would almost feel weird.
You nailed it. The Last Jedi. That's the one that sucked friggin' horribly. Thank you, Tony. That was absolute disaster. I think it was like, I'm trying to remember the director's name. The director actually did a couple of good movies, like the murder mystery movies, which were very good. But man, he should not have touched Star Wars. They should have left that one alone. Cage as a Coke now. Cage. I collect the Miz. Anyone has any rare ones, hit me up. I didn't know that, Charles, or you just, I can't tell, Charles.
I didn't know you collect the Miz
serious
either.
or not, I can't tell.
Well, he collects Star-Lord,
RPAs,
so it wouldn't surprise me.
I was out on Star Wars when Disney got in. Removing the EU from history and majority from canon is not cool, especially. Well, yeah, I guess that's the thing is, it'll go on forever now. Not that George Lucas wouldn't have continued on or whatever, but now it's definitely going to continue. And that's kind of the same problem that Marvel, has got with their stuff having to taper it back. They'll probably have to do something similar with Star Wars at some point. I'm guessing. Just guessing. I cut pictures of Breeze out of magazines and paste them to popsicle sticks. I will sell you some on Instagram. Got Breezicles. Color match root beer popsicle stick. And Glorious P, what's going on, man? What is going on? Hope you are doing well. Man, Bob, I really hope that, I'm assuming you don't have a wife or she doesn't see this. I'm just assuming. I don't know.
What?
All the wife jokes, all the wife quips coming in hard. All right, let's move on to some. Yeah, Mike's back. Okay. Yeah, the chat has been on fire tonight.
I think I'm way ahead of you, but I'm just looking ahead to see.
The chat has been busy tonight for sure. I would say like I know I get crap for not staying up on the chat, but I feel like it's been very busy tonight. So I do
feel like there's been lots of comments tonight, but that's good.
Steve, everyone's skipping over the Joker, Embiid, Giannis, Tatum. We don't need Zion, Luka trade to take the torch just yet. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of star power. There's no doubt about that. The NBA has plenty of star power.
Yeah. But three of those names, Embiid, Giannis, and Tatum, are all in the East. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Only one of those is gonna make it through. That's a good point, actually. Embiid, Giannis, Tatum, all three incredible, not going to make it. But and then the West, you got the same story. So we'll see. Trader Griff setting up at the Burbank show Labor Day weekend, splitting a table with a buddy. Tables are $700. You guys book your Disneyland Laguna. I do want to come to the Burbank show. I'm probably not going to make that one, but I do want to come to that show and experience it. Actually, I might. It's possible. I think we had talked about that, Steve. It's in September. I'm kind of a wait and see, but I would really like to come to that show in Anaheim because I know
I'm going to be there.
You're not going to make it?
Not to California in September. I'm planning to go to Spain or something.
I think it's just too close to the National is what I'm thinking, but I definitely want to get to that show for sure. Yeah. The chat's been rowdy.
Let's see.
PWCC are the kings of trim, soak, and chill. Mike is very sensitive about soaking. I know we had talked about that on a different live stream. I'm still learning about that whole business. The soaking and for vintage cards, I believe, is mainly what we're talking about here. These by now. Okay. Welcome to. Okay. I'll leave that there. Bob's got more to say. Yeah, I think that's kind of the thing, Chris, is you've got a budget for a card and just don't FOMO, just like you're locked in on your budget. That's what you're paying. The vast majority of cards, you'll see that card again, unless it's one of ones or something or whatever, very specific stuff. But I think that's the only time where it's like, all right, maybe I'm going to reach on this card a little bit is when like you've been looking for it for 8 months and one finally pops up and it's like, all right, I'm going to come heavy on it. So I don't know. All right. I'm just trying to get caught up here a little bit. I'm trying to pass through. There's a lot of WWE. I'm sorry, guys. We did touch on it, and I'm not a WWE expert at all. Rise of Skywalker was a nightmare too, probably because of the Last Jedi mess. Yeah, well, they had to just move things very quickly. Like I feel like I love that Palpatine was in it. Like storyline stuff was fine, but it felt like it moved really fast. And it wouldn't have had to move so fast if the Last Jedi wasn't so stupid. And then they had to just kind of rush everything through to fix it. And, it is what it is. Okay. Yeah, this is okay. Trae Young, Trae Young pricing being so down. David French is thinking, hey, is that an opportunity? Some of these guys will end up being opportunities. We just don't know which ones.
Right. And I mean, we just talked about the East. Is Atlanta a threat anytime soon? I mean, they keep mixing and matching pieces over there. Eventually, does Trae Young go somewhere else because they just can't build the team around him that he needs to win? Yeah.
It's a good point. And same with Luka. Like, does it reach a point where he's just like, hey, I'm out of Dallas. Like it's not going to work. I think eventually it's going to happen. I think it's inevitable because they pretty much they traded everything away to get Kyrie. I don't see that really working out well. And then what?
I honestly don't think Luka will ever win one in Dallas. I would not be surprised if he retired with 0. And I know people are going to really hard disagree with me, but I've seen a lot of good basketball players come and go. I've seen lots of stat machines come and go. Right. Russell Westbrook hasn't won one yet, right? He's all-time leader in triple doubles. Right. I'm not saying they're the same player, but as of right now, I would say that Russell Westbrook has a better career.
Right.
So yeah, Luka has to be on the ball. That's why Kyrie didn't work. Luka has to be on the ball to be for that offense to run successfully, or for him to get his triple doubles every night, he has to be on the ball. So who are you going to put around him in a day of where the big man doesn't necessarily exist anymore? See, you used to have a guy that was really good on the ball, then you had a big man. Those days are over now. And your shooters are shooting threes all over the place. I don't know how good Luka is from three. He passes the ball a lot. He gets rebounds. He scores points. But I think he would have been a better player 20 years ago than he is now.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see. Are any of these guys going to come out of this funk? We've got Trey, we got Luka, we got John, we got Zion. Are any of these guys going to make it out? It's going to be interesting to watch. Fanatics, Steve, what do you think about this? Should they have to serialize hobby boxes of cards from a price point, $250 to $500, like Rittenhouse does their hobby boxes? Set print run numbers and reveal it to the public. I would love to have set print run numbers. I've been saying that forever. You have a take on it?
I mean, do I think that they should? I mean, I just don't think anything like that would ever happen unless it was a super, really high-end product and they actually wanted to advertise it as limited for, as a selling point. Hey, this is limited to this many cases. This is what's going to make people buy it. But then you're putting a price tag on it that people can't afford. In order to put a price tag on something that people can afford, that stuff's going to be mass produced. So, it's a good thought when you're thinking about it generally, but you're also talking about a company like Rittenhouse that does it that's very small and also niche, WNBA sets, Marvel sets, things like that. You don't see a lot of Rittenhouse product. So they're probably not printing a lot because they're not selling a lot. If Rittenhouse was Fanatics, they're probably printing as much as Fanatics or Panini or whoever is printing, right? If they have the licenses and they can do it. So
it'll be interesting to see though what Fanatics does with that, because they know that they obviously they want to print to make money. At the same time, though, Topps did announce they're going to cut back on certain products, like the actual product line was going to come back. Right. They cut like 7 or 8 different sets that they normally print, that Topps normally prints, so they're going to cut those back. So are they going to print more of less sets, or print, that's going to be kind of a tricky balance.
Well, and the other way to look at this question is the way that it's asked is should Fanatics should have, do we think that they should have to do it, as if this is regulated, right? So who's going to make them do it? The government, the Better Business Bureau. I don't know who's going to say, okay, Fanatics, if you're selling prices at this price, you have to serial number your boxes. I think it would be more like a thing, or it definitely would have to be more of a thing where Fanatics would have to approach that themselves. But again, in that aspect, now it becomes a marketing ploy. It doesn't become something that's regulated by an overseer that says you have to do it. But it becomes Fanatics wants to do it because they know it would be good for selling your product.
Yeah.
So it depends on where you're asking from. Do I think that someone should come in and regulate what Fanatics does? Or do we think Fanatics should take it upon themselves as somebody that wants to pass a better product onto their consumer? Which angle do you want that? It can be answered from different angles.
Yeah, no, that's fair. We've got a lot of laughs on the wife jokes.
And we're having issues again.
Oh, am I out? I can hear. Am I good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't think I was good for a while.
I could hear you. Everything that you said, I could hear you.
Okay.
Ryan Johnson, that's the guy that screwed it up. And man, Trader Griffs we just became even more best friends. I completely agree. Okay, soaking and peroxide solution. That's what we're talking about with soaking cards. So I guess it's a style of cleaning, I guess. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
Snipers sniffing shills.
They're just like the shill nicknames have taken over chat that I'm seeing.
Take a shill pill.
Shill daddy,
what?
shill
dog,
shill. Shill pills, give me thrills.
Put that on a bumper sticker on a t-shirt. Maybe that should be the name of the show. Or that could be the rap song. That could be part of the rap song that's in the intro. Take a shill pill. Take a shill pill.
Kurt Schilling, which I've used that before. Michael Jackson Schiller. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Will the Shill Clark. Didn't know that shill rhymed with so many words. Finally, a use for a shill.
Mike, I know that. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it for saying The Last Jedi sucked. I really hated that movie and had plenty of arguments with friends about it. I'm almost to the point like, hey, look, if I lose subscribers because you really loved The Last Jedi, then I'm fine losing them because that movie was atrocious. There's not even like I can usually find both sides or four sides to an argument. I can't find any other side to The Last Jedi being good. I just can't find it. It's just that bad. So anyway, I'm glad we're closer now, Mike. Michael Jackson Schiller. Very good. And Glorious is going full. Luca is basically Dirk, and Dirk has a ring. So there, that's so is it like Luke? The best case scenario is a Dirk situation for Luca. It's all going to depend. I think he's got to get out of Dallas at this point. Now that they've made that move with Kyrie, I mean, I just feel like that next contract is going to be with somebody else. I have to believe that. I don't know. I could be wrong, but he's got to be looking at the organization now and just thinking like, I don't know if they're going to be able to surround me with the right talent or whatever. I think he's going to go, dream team scenario or whatever. He's going to go super team, team up with a couple of guys in a few years.
Or he could just be like Giannis and go win with what they have.
Could. That could happen. That's what
separates him. That's what separates the best from the great.
Maybe
you
he's
have
Larry.
The greats, then you have the best.
Maybe he's Larry Bird and not Dirk. We'll find out. We got a Michael Jackson, Diana Ross, Smokey Robinson logo, man. It's coming.
I would buy that.
Biden's going to wake up from his nap. Okay. Yeah. Bob's going to get Biden on top of the whole Fanatics thing. So everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. Shillbilly. What was the one that B Thodge had earlier? Because I'm going to write that down. I'm going back up to the chat. I'm at the end of the chat, believe it or not.
I saw Ben Schiller.
Take a shill pill. I'm writing that. Take a shill pill.
Take a shill pill.
All right, guys. We're at the witching hour. 92 minutes in. Steve, you know what that means. I'm about to turn into a pumpkin.
That means you've been online 30 minutes longer than the norm.
Woo. Man, it's been a good one. Everyone's hung in with us through all the technical difficulties throughout the chat, and the chat has been on fire. My God, incredible. What do you have? Anything profound that you wanna end on? We still have over 100 people hanging with us. Anything profound you want to add? Any life advice? Something that just breaks the internet that you wanted to share?
I think our internet's already broken, but let's see. No, I'm giving away a trip to the National. If you might have heard us talking about it earlier when the internet was messing up. But I'm giving away a trip to the National. The first question was asked in a video. You had to answer it on Instagram. Like 40 people answered that. So there's like 40 people with one entry already, but you can get multiple entries real quick. 3 nights in a hotel, the same hotel that me and Michael Hammer staying in, but you get your own room, and there will be money for expenses. Like if you need it for travel, if you don't need it for travel, you'll have it for cards, whatever you want to use it for. That person will individually let me know after they win. It will be for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. So that giveaway is going on. I've only done the one chance to get entries. So you guys haven't missed much, and you haven't missed anything if you caught the first entry. And that's been it. Just keep up with the content. We will ask questions on here as well, but keep up with the content and you'll figure out how you can get entered. Because I get people that direct message me and say, how can I get entered for your giveaway? The best way that I can tell you is to just keep up with following the content and things like that. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, the National is going to be a giant party. Yeah. It's going to be a giant party with cards. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be really good. Hambone will be there. Michael Ham's bringing tequila, so there you go. Oh, we got Dwayne. I haven't seen Dwayne in a bit. That's coming off your channel, Dwayne. Or maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Steve, hopefully after 3 years, we finally meet maybe at the National. Dwayne, maybe Dwayne will get the victory. Maybe he will win. The thing is that Charles will say Charles got hooked up last time. Last year was insane. I was jealous of Charles. I was like, damn, dude. He got hooked up.
And the other thing is with the hobby right now, like I did a video the other day and I was feeling good. I was feeling good just about life in general, but I was feeling good about the hobby. It seemed like there wasn't a lot of news. Right now, people always use the cliche, no news is good news. And you kind of apply that to the hobby right now because I feel like bad news really gets pushed to the forefront. I think awareness is great. And
Yeah.
I want people to be aware of things that are going on that may not be so good, but also you can't be consumed by it. You
Well, and
know,
also there's so many different ways to enjoy what we're doing here, and
Mhm.
it's a choice, really. It's like find something that you enjoy doing, or don't, I suppose. But it's like, what's the point then? I don't. There's so many avenues. I mean, Dave brings it up right here. Here's one very inexpensive way to participate, and it's autographs through the mail. I used to do this as a kid.
Mhm.
I know there's a lot of guys with channels that do this and share kind of their experience sending cards away. You could do this with your kids. I mean, like, there's so many different ways to get involved. So the whining, the
Raul got a
complaining,
Bob Cousy auto through the mail the other day.
yeah, I know it's crazy. The guys that still sign, it's
Like
insane.
Bob Cousy, like that's
Well,
like
it's
a
like
legit
the amount of
Hall of Fame
people that are
auto.
the amount of people that are just whining, complaining about like every last little thing. It's like the boy that cried wolf. If you're always whining and complaining about everything, it's kind of like, all right, well, I guess that's just kind of that's you. That's just how you are. I mean, there's good things going on. There's a lot of good things going on.
Yeah, and that was my thing. Like, wrap yourself up in the good stuff and have fun because that's why we're all here. But be aware. Do be aware. I'm not telling you to ignore
Yes, of
stuff. Be
course.
aware, but you know,
I feel like we could do a good job of balancing all that out. I mean, we
right?
talk about
Balance. I guess that's
stuff.
a good word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
It's tough to be balanced when you're on a live stream called Off Centered. Let me tell you.
We're already off centered. So we're doing the best that we can.
Yeah, no
Guys.
balance here.
We're doing the best that we can. Bob's got his wife up in a contest. Man, unbelievable.
Sounds like a reality television show, huh?
All right, guys. I think that we are going to wrap. Sean, actually, yeah, I'll end right here. Sean saying TTM is really fun, great way to send cheap cards, and that was what was great about it when I was a kid as well. You weren't sending expensive cards in the mail, and that wasn't the strategy. It was you have a cool insert or a base card or something. And also you would look at like what's an easy card to sign. I don't know if I would send like an expensive insert or kind of a shiny insert might not be the best card to actually get an autograph on. Whereas like cardboard, yeah, everything was cardboard really for the most part back in those days. So it was a lot easier. But yeah, TTM is I fully agree and endorse that. It's such an inexpensive way to enjoy stuff. So
I was gonna do like a separate video. I have an entire box of stuff from when I used to do TTM as a kid through the mail, and I was gonna make it into a video. And then I thought maybe one night I would just pull it out on a live stream and show a couple things. But
yeah, let me
yeah,
grab. I've got a few of them right here, real quick. Grab them.
okay. Mine are like put away, but like some of the stuff, and I would send my own cards, and a lot of times I would get my card back with something additional. I remember sending off to Connecticut to the WWF back when it was the WWF, and they sent me magazines. They sent me an autographed 8x10 of Hulk Hogan because he was like the
Yeah,
champ back then.
Penny Hardaway. This was huge for me back in the day. I remember
Mhm.
getting this and being like, "Oh my god, I got Penny
Oh,
Anthony Hardaway
my
signed a
brother
Penny."
sent to him and got that. I sent to Troy Aikman in
Yeah,
1990, so it was his second year, and I sent him a
good.
1990 second year scorecard. Oh yeah, you
Check the
got
screen.
Aikman. Yeah,
I
you
got
got
the
it.
90 Pro. I got the 90 Pro set, or is this 91? I think it's actually 91 Pro set. But yeah,
Yeah, he signed that, but he also sent me an autographed 5x7.
this is cool. Reggie
Reggie
White on
White.
the
Yeah,
Bible,
that's a
the
good one.
Pinnacle Bible card. Neek.
I even sent to David Copperfield, the magician, and he sent me back a big picture signed. He was like, magic.
Jerome Bettis.
Jerome Bettis.
Yeah. No, I've got I don't have like hundreds of them, but I've got a fair
Mm-hmm.
amount from my childhood, and it's just fun to look at them. It's just fun.
Oh, I sent to the Lakers. I just sent to the forum, and they sent me back a team picture. It's an old team picture. The photo itself might even be collectible, but it was signed by James Worthy. So they had James Worthy sign it, but it was an
Yeah.
entire photo of like the 1985 or 86 team or something. I mean, it was like it's an old mid 80s photo Worthy had to be on the team, so it had to be mid to late 80s.
New gaming chair. These were just sent through the mail. So it's kind of like what Charles said. It could have been the secretary, Babe Ruth's got, his secretary signed some of his stuff. So I guess that's part of the intrigue. You can kind of take the autograph and compare it to, their in-person stuff or what you see on a flawless card or something like that. So yeah, it's not necessarily, I don't get them for I didn't get them because I was trying to make money off of them or flip them or anything.
Right.
I just thought it was cool to get to have, so for me, it's more of like a PC thing, but I know that there's also people that do try to do kind of like you get it through the mail, you grade it, you get it authenticated and then you can sell those. That's possible too. I think I just haven't gone down that path.
Like one of the biggest ones back when I was a kid was Nolan Ryan. And I sent it to him. And I remember it going through Irving, Texas, post office. That's what they postal stamped when I got my self-addressed stamped envelope back. And because he was on the Rangers. And my brother sent also, and we both sent cards, separate envelopes. Neither one of us got our cards back, but what we did get back was a small photo of him about this big. It was, maybe, I don't know, smaller than a 5x7, but bigger than a baseball card. And it was a photo of him pitching, and it had his signature on it. Now, I wasn't sure if it was a legit auto. You could see it was live ink on there. It wasn't a facsimile. So after doing some diving into it and looking into see if it was authentic or if he had auto penned, had people, or if he had secretary signing stuff, because people were rumoring, my friends in the neighborhood, it was like a neighborhood thing. So we all would send him to Nolan Ryan. And we all got the same thing back. Come to find out, he signed those, but he signs them ahead of time. He signs a whole stack, like bunch of stacks of them for like his fan club members and things like that. So he does have people that answer his fan mail for him. But when they answer his fan mail, they insert an small autograph photo of him that he has signed, but he doesn't handle the mail and things himself. So it ended up being a legit autograph, but that's how it was done. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, he got my letter in the mail and he looked at it and signed my card and put it back for me. But it was cool to get that back from the people who answer his mail for him.
I think too, when you have to think about when you're going to a show to get an autograph, it's expensive. It's usually, of course it depends on the player, the cost, but it can be $100, couple $100 to get a basic thing signed. So, you have to kind of weigh that like, hey, I could send a $1 card in the mail with a couple stamps. It cost me $2 and maybe I get something back, and maybe, it's not 100% authentic. I guess you can't really prove that because you're not there watching them sign it. But at the same time, do you have thousands of dollars to spend on in-person autographs? Actually, I thought the coolest thing about the in-person autograph, where we're at the National, I met Barry Sanders because one of my buddies wanted to get that card, Steve, that you have Marino of, that 96 Upper Deck first game used patch card.
Oh, yeah.
He had the Barry Sanders version of that, and Barry signed that card. It's like unbelievable card and signed. So it's one of one, type deal. eBay one of one. But the coolest part for me was meeting Barry Sanders. Like that was also part of that experience. Not that we like talked or anything, but just the fact that I was standing right in front of Barry Sanders. That part was insane. So even if it did cost $200, I think for certain players, it's also the experience of meeting them and getting the autograph and that getting maybe a photo with him. I got a picture with Barry Sanders. It's like, that's all part of the experience. So I get it. But if it's,
I remember that day. That was the day you came limping back to the hotel. And I was like, Dustin, why are you walking funny? And you were like, I tried to tackle Barry Sanders and he broke my ankles.
He did one of those.
I remember that. I remember that now.
One of those patented spins. All right, guys. We are going to go ahead. Oh, Lee, good to see you. Yeah, you're coming on late. The recent Chantilly show, I was not at the recent one. No,
I wasn't there either.
I plan to go to the one at the end of June unless something happens, but I would like to go to that Chantilly show. Folks there are really nice that put on that show. So I would like to go there. Steve might be going. Yeah, we'll see if we can go together and do that.
There's one in June.
Yeah, the one that's at the end of June, I think, is the one.
It's about a month out from the National. That's the only tough part. there's still so many shows popping up, for a hobby that's supposedly dying. There's more shows than ever existed. Now, I guess this did happen in the 90s. I mean, I talked about the Joe Montana 81 tops on Ryan's live stream about how it's an accomplishment. I want to get that card, but it'd be more of a accomplishment to get that card just because of a story. I don't need to go through that story again. You guys probably don't want to hear it, but it was just something I brought up that I have a vivid memory from a card show from when I was younger.
Save that story for next time, Steve.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll have the card to go with the story next time.
Yeah,
I did bid on 2 of them. I think they ended Monday night. I lost both of them.
Are you trying to get a 9?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was going to say, because a 10, it was what, like 175 to 100, and then I've got an 8, but those are easy to find. You can easily get an 8.
Yeah, the 9 is just the good, the what I call the sweet spot on that card for me. It's rare enough that it's valuable, but it's not so expensive that I can afford it. And if I ever needed to move it, I wouldn't have a hard time finding somebody that could afford to buy it off me as well.
I want a 9 as well at some point. It's an awesome card.
I'd like to get it for like 1,600 or something, but the auctions get up to 17 to 18, and then the buy it nows are slightly over 2,000. But then somebody will have it listed for 24, and then make you an offer of 21. But you're watching auctions end at 17 and 1,800, and I'm just like, maybe I'm just thinking at National with cash, 16 is possible.
Yeah.
So, and maybe even by then that card has settled down even a little bit more. I don't think there's anything driving it right now other than it's probably the second best quarterback ever by argument. And whether he's third or first or argument for second. And it's an iconic card. I mean, it was one of the first cards to ever be on Beckett magazine. So for football cards, and I just remember that card standing out when I was a kid. So I think it's a good card to have. I mean, I'm chasing baseball vintage, but I'm also looking at a lot of 80s football.
Yeah, before long, the 80s will be the vintage stuff. Like that'll be the next. And then
sunburn coming in over here on my arm.
50s, 60s will be like it'll be like pre-war for baseball. Yes, we will both be at the Nationals, Dwayne. We will be at the Nationals, as Bob put it. All right, guys, we are really going this. It's 11 p.m. Eastern. Steve is a night owl. I am not. So it takes me a few minutes to kind of wind down.
No, not today. I'm going to sleep. I could have crashed before the live stream. So
I found this on eBay. Cool shirt on eBay. Back to the Future, kind of some 80s swag type stuff. A few different 80s shirts off of eBay. Kind of cool. Just thought I'd throw that at the end there. I'm tired. All right. Steve, stay on, obviously, and we will catch you guys later. Have a good night, guys.
Later.
Thanks again.